So, what actually inspired you into consulting?
I didn't want to be without a job. I am ambitious and I wanted to have a stable career. If you would want to do something, nothing is impossible. You just need to keep going with what you're doing.
Transformed the way that you thought?
I would want to say that definitely the working as a marketing consultant has changed me, as an individual.
And talking about multi, I'm sure that you are also a multitasker at work.
Because a lot of people just assume that it's the women's job to do it, and they just take it very easy, like she's there and she'll manage.
Think that there is a balance between both, or do you just take it as it comes?
I feel like people are more understanding now, and transparency and continuous communication is something which really helps you.
How do you actually have that conversation with the client, and how do you pick the right clients? Because I think it's also important
Are working more towards organic.
to know, what are you doing on that front for personal branding, and what's that next move?
I started working with startup.
Hi everyone, this is Shruti, back on the podcast Brand New You. According to a recent report, 73% of the women actually quit their jobs due to a new child being born in the family. And with that being said, today on the podcast, we have Geeta Dhawan, who has about 9 years of experience, and she's a freelance marketing consultant. Welcome to the show, Geeta.
Thank you, Shruti. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes. Actually, Geeta is an old friend of mine, and it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, Geeta, and actually trying to understand your world, your jargons, and after your personal life that has been transcribed. So, pleasure to have you here.
So, thank you, Shruti, for having me on this podcast. And, I'm extremely proud of you for pulling this through. And I would love to share my journey with with the people who follow you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, Geeta, just for the audience to understand, we would love to know more about you, your journey of 9 years, how it was planned out, and what are you doing right now?
Sure. So it wasn't planned out the way it has turned out to be, and it is not, it's never been a straight line for me. I started my career in healthcare with an Indian company, and I moved to a multinational. The corporate setup is when I learned how to manage different functions, what are the legalities, what are the compliance processes, etc., which happen in these companies. After 1.5 or 2 years, I've realized, that I'm wanting to take up more new challenges in the current infrastructure which I have. And since we're all based in Bangalore, I started working with startups in the healthcare space. I worked with a couple of startups. I solved problems for them. Working with startups has its own pros and cons, but I really enjoyed my time there. And it does add a lot to your learning. Post that, the last startup I was working with was going through an acquisition, and they had to lay off their marketing team. Is when I found myself again without a job and craving for a new challenge. Then I thought, why not take up consulting and work with different companies? I had expertise of around 8 years, 7.5 to 8 years, and marketing function remains the same, across companies. So why not help other companies grow and scale? So that's when I started working as a freelance marketing consultant, and it's been 2 years. I have a couple of clients where one is a couple of them are in technology, different to what I've been doing. A couple of them are in healthcare, and also we are building a YouTube channel for one of my clients. So it's a very different sort of learning which I have. Again, I'm managing things remotely. I work from home, so I can take care of my daughter as well. But I feel I'm enjoying the thrill which the role has.
Great, Geeta. We'll come back to the personal side later on. But looking at the professional side, it must be really complex as a challenge to manage multiple things as a consultant. So, because I'm sure diversity comes in when you're doing consulting. It's not the same work every day as a corporate, but you have different clients and different challenges, and that gets you different complexities. So, what actually inspired you into consulting?
So, frankly, if you ask me, there was no inspiration as such. It was more out of a compulsion that I didn't want to be without a job, and I wanted to have. I am ambitious, and I wanted to have a stable career. But when this layoff happened, I thought that let's give it a try, let's give it a shot. So my first client came in through a reference, and it was something which I've never done. It was basically a deep SaaS company. But I built, so they had never done marketing in the past. I built the whole function from scratch. And they are a Delhi based company, whereas I work from Bangalore. So managing all that remotely gave me a lot of confidence about myself. Also, we are both from marketing function. So we know that stakeholder management is one of the biggest part of our job. So doing that remotely gave me a lot of confidence. Then I started onboarding new clients and new functions. So, someone came to me that they wanted leads in digital marketing. Then someone came to me saying we are building a YouTube channel. So I feel that the first gig itself, or the first job which I got, was the sort of the inspiration for me to take up more work and to realize that if you would want to do something, nothing is impossible. You just need to keep going with what you're doing.
Yes, but also looking at the plethora of projects that you must be handling, there might be different skill sets which are required for every type of a project. As you said, one you started up from scratch, rather than a corporate where you have people to, actually help you, your team members or your mentor or your boss might, actually tailor make and help you to reach that goal. Vis-a-vis in a consulting setup and as a freelancer, you would have to give a lot of you to that project. How do you keep up with, actually enhancing these skill sets?
So, one thing you rightly pointed out, that you work as an individual contributor, plus you don't have anyone to guide you. So that is the most challenging part. And plus, you don't have a team. So you work all alone, you work in a silo from home. So I feel that, I am someone who likes to communicate a lot. So I always go to my clients, talk to my peers about the whole giving me a feedback on how I'm functioning. Now coming to upskilling and keeping myself up to date. So I try to, because I work as a digital marketing consultant mostly, I try to do a lot of courses online, offering different sorts of expertise when it comes to digital marketing. The other bit I would want to focus on is AI. So AI has been also a lifesaver for me. I use AI extensively for the work I do, for the kind of, for the feedback I get, and also to improvise and to learn new things. So I would also want to say that, as a marketer, people keep asking me that what do you think AI is going to replace us. But I feel that no, AI can be an ally, and we need to work closely and collaborate with AI, because it can be of use and it opens so many avenues for you to do things which you've never done in the past. So I mean, in this gig, in the current gigs which I have, I worked on multiple projects which also involves shooting a meta ad or a Facebook ad from scratch, editing that. And that has only been possible because AI recommended some tools to me. If it was like a couple of years back when I started, I wouldn't be able to do it with the help, because I feel like in general, people feel that they don't specialize in a function, but that is changing now. So that is how I keep myself upskilled and, up to date with the recent happenings. The other bit is that I do follow these magazines online, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to lot of conversations happening in marketing. So that also helps me in knowing what is new in the market. And the last bit would be a lot of networking sessions which I attend with fellow marketeers and fellow people who are at a similar function like me. Yep. And one more thing I forgot to mention is that these platforms like Reddit and all the other platforms do have a lot of information in them. So it's just, yeah, finding the right information at the right platform.
Great. I think that actually locks in a lot of the efforts when you match the efforts with the right client, as well as, you're actually finishing the project. It might not be 100% foolproof, but actually, when the client might look at the efforts that you have drawn to as an individual contributor, that actually seals the deal, right?
Agree. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you said that you've gotten a lot of feedback and you look at validation also from the peers as well as the clients that you work with. Uh, do you remember any feedback that has actually transformed the way that you thought?
I would want to say that definitely the working as a marketing consultant has changed me, as an individual. But a specific feedback which I would like to mention here, to the people who are watching this podcast, is that we were going to participate in a particular innovation challenge by by one of the logistics provider all over India for one of my clients, and everything, including the video, which is like the corporate video, because it's a startup whom I work with. So there was nothing in place, and everything was made from scratch. And that could only happen because of the continuous communication and the feedback process. We could only, and in fact, we won that particular challenge, and that was because of the continuous feedback and the continuous dialogue between me and the founders. So that is how I've tried to improve and keep myself up to date. The other thing is that I also try to take up multiple projects. Like for example, one of my clients, as I mentioned, wants to run a YouTube, wants to build a YouTube channel for their. It's one of their ancillary business. So that sort of exposure gives me a lot of learning, because this is different from digital marketing. We're trying to grow things organically. So I believe that the variety of work which I have keeps my learning up to date, and the feedback which I get makes me improvise my skills. So,
I think Geeta, when I hear you, I hear the word variety. I hear the word multiple. Multi is the word that I hear. And talking about multi, I'm sure that you are also a multitasker at work as well as at home, right? So coming to the personal side of things, it must be really tough to manage both the ends of the coin. So how do you do that? How do you maintain that art of balance as a working woman?
so first of all, I mean, I'm extremely thankful to you for acknowledging that it's tough, because a lot of people just assume that it's the women's job to do it, and they just take it very easy, like she's there and she'll manage. So also I would like to say that the times are changing now. Women are more career oriented as well. So when it comes to balancing both ends, I feel like there's a lot of guilt involved when you're a mom. There have been time when my 2.5-year-old needs me, and at the same time I have some burning issue with my client. So it's all about prioritizing. It's all about being consistent and showing up. Now, after I think a couple of years of being a mother, I've understood that everything cannot be flawless or perfect. We have to just keep going. Like, we cannot give up on what we are doing, and both the ends are pretty important. So the idea would be to prioritize, things at that particular point of time.
Yes. So looking at priority, and you also said there's a lot of emotion that goes into, there's also more of logical thinking. So what is that intricate balance? Do you think that there is a balance between both, or do you just take it as it comes?
So I personally, I take it as it comes, and I want to say that there has to be a balance which we have to maintain, because this will keep on, like, this is now life for us, right? I'm a mom, I have a child, I also have a career. So that is how the life is for me. So I feel like any sort of support, be it at work, be it at home, is extremely important if you're trying to balance both. And you have to be I have, like, there will be times where I would want to be with my daughter. For example, she's been, the last couple of days, she's had a high fever and she wants me to be around. So that time I'm very transparent with my clients as well, telling them that my daughter needs me. I will prioritize work, maybe not currently, but maybe towards the end of the day, when once she sleeps or once she rests.
So you try to draw boundaries.
Yes, I try to draw boundaries. The other thing is being transparent with people, because I feel like luckily I've been working with those clients who understand, that this is also a priority for me. So that would be very important, and transparency always helps. Having a conversation, because initially I was very hesitant in telling people that how do I tell them my daughter's not well, but that's not the case. I feel like people are more understanding now, and transparency and continuous communication is something which really helps you.
Yes, I think speaking to you and looking at this mix of you having to have transparency with the clients and also talking to them about difficult times when your child needs you. How do you actually have that conversation with the client, and how do you pick the right clients? Because I think it's also important. Yes, of course, the clients pick you, but it's also important that you pick them as well. So how do you do that?
So a thing about me, Shruti, as you know, and we've been friends long enough. So every 1.5, 2 years is when I crave for a new challenge and new sort of problems to solve, etc. So how I choose my clients currently is definitely communicating with them about the my personal needs as well, because there's a reason why I'm working as a consultant, because I want to also focus on my family for now, because my daughter is little small, right? So she's a small baby. That's what I meant. So the other thing would be that having the conversation initially when I have the first meeting with them, letting them know that at the personal front I'm also a mother, and my daughter is 2.5 years old. So I would need some sort of flexibility that is there. The other bit is that projects which I find really interesting. So I've started seeing projects which are different from what I'm doing. So for example, currently for one of my clients, I'm handling digital marketing end to end. In fact, running their marketing business from Bangalore. Now I worked in marketing for around 2 years, this sort of role for around 2 years, and I've come to a realization that content might be my forte, whereas organic content is something I want to focus on. So I'm looking for new clients who are working more towards organic and growing gradually rather than growing at a fast pace, and growing gradually with the organic sort of content which they create. So that is something which I find really interesting. The other bit would be that I'm a strong believer of people telling me, a lot of people come and tell you that marketing is easy and it's not, you keep making reasons up. But I realized that but those clients who understand that how difficult marketing is and how difficult the execution is is whom I would want to work. Like, there has to be a clear understanding that marketing as a function is difficult to run. Not that, anyone and everyone can do marketing. So that would be my take on
I
this.
think looking at this, one is, of course, I've understood that marketing is definitely not easy, and it requires a different set of skills, and it also requires a different thought process that it comes. And secondly, one must always look at creative problem solving as an approach, right?
Yes.
And when you look at this, one personal note that you touched is upon content. And when you talk about content, one thing is really, really important in these times, of course, and you would definitely agree with me as a freelance marketing consultant, is personal branding,
Yes.
right? And you also said that you are ambitious. So on that note, I would love to ask you a question on, what are you doing on that front for personal branding, and what's that next move?
Yeah. So, you've been my inspiration, frankly. So, on a personal front, I feel, so again, I'm just requoting myself that I keep changing my career path or taking up new challenges. So, from the last couple of months, I've been thinking that am I the only one who's been like that? So, I started doing some research on various platforms, and I realized that, there are a lot of people like me who actually want to change their careers but are lost, because then they'll move away from a traditional sort of mindset. So on that front, and also specifically, I would like to mention here that mothers, they find themselves torn between motherhood and work, and they don't know how to balance, and a lot of them end up quitting the work, like how on the note on which we started. So I am thinking of building a podcast for people like me who thrive on challenges, who want to have those career shifts, still are labeled as non-ambitious but are ambitious, and managing multiple things. Because I feel like we manage a lot of things in our daily lives, right? And we don't give ourselves enough credit to. And I'm also responsible. I've also done that, all this while. The last couple of months, I have been a realization for me that, this is a space I would want to, I would want to carve out a special space or a different space for people like me. So on that note, I would want to, I'm working on a podcast where I will interview people with similar mindset, who will help people understand that how do we solve these problems. So that's what I'm doing at a personal branding front, and it's sort of a personal project. It's very close to me, and let's see how it works out. Yeah.
Yes, I think really inspiring to know your journey, and also the fact that you have that engine in you to keep going and carving out that special place for you. So I would urge, I think, all the listeners out there to follow you. I think it's called You Told Me Outside.
Yeah, it's called as Quietly Ambitious. I'll
Yes.
share the link with you, so
Yeah.
you can also just pin it in the comments.
Yeah, I think quietly ambitious, that's a powerful word. that sometimes you don't need to be that high energy, ambitious person. Sometimes there is that quietness in your life that you need to embrace as a person, and you just embrace that and yet be ambitious and do what it takes to keep going, right? But looking at that, there are a lot of young listeners out here who hear my podcast as well, who are quietly ambitious or who are highly ambitious, right? And you've been a marketeer at some most of the stints in your career. So would love to know any tips that the youngsters could take when they are, especially when they are starting out in the marketing or the sales field.
Sure. So, I personally feel that, initially you should be open to taking up more roles because it's about learning and it's basically upgrading yourself. So, initially you should be open in taking up different jobs or taking up different roles. And if you feel that, you are not enjoying your work, I feel like, one career doesn't fit all. You can try multiple gigs. There are websites these days. People have a lot of freelance work also, so that could also be explored, and then you find your niche. So I would just want to say to your listeners that I've always thought that maybe I'm different or maybe I'm not meant for corporate, but now I'm ready to embrace myself. I'm embracing the side of mine which says that every 2 years I would thrive on. I would want a new challenge. So you first of all don't think that you're different. Instead of figuring out things, you should embrace this part of yourself and try to look at things from a different angle. And we live, come on, we are in 2025. There's everything is available on the internet. There's so much information. Go and read about it. Go and try to find what is suiting, what interests you, what you would want to pursue, and just keep on learning and keep on growing. There's no one career path for everyone. Maybe there are different things for you. So the idea would be not to give up and just keep going.
Yes. So Geeta, I think you are a kind of a person who thrives on different things, right? And I'm sure the youngsters out there are also the same. When, especially when one is starting out, it's really a conundrum to understand where they should start, whether they like marketing, whether they should do sales, whether what's their dream job looking like. So, any tips on how to unearth this entire complexity into their personal life, as to how does one choose what their job should look like, what they should be, or how to get that dream unfolded.
So, I feel like there's no one. Interests keep changing every 2 years, 5 years. People want different sort of problems to solve or different sort of thrills in their career. So, I would say that sales is definitely a good starting point for anyone who's starting up because it gives you a lot of experience and it gives you a very good understanding of the field and your customer. And then if you're interested in marketing, maybe after a couple of years you could look at working in a marketing function. And the other bit would be that I would see, I'm not a person who knows that what I'll do in the next 5 to 10 years, but I would say that it's okay to embrace the kind of change which is coming in your life. And you might have a career path which has been decided for you, but later on during that journey is when you realize maybe this is not what I want to do. So it's okay to acknowledge that.
Mm.
And it's okay to understand what can be done to make sure that things interest you. So that's what I would want to say, because I believe that I also thought that I'll be in a different career and I'll not be where I am, but that's how life is. So you should be ready to embrace whatever challenge life is throwing at you in terms of career.
Yes. So when you look at life and when you look at different challenges that one is thrown at, I think fundamentally what is really important, especially for the younger workforce and also for people like us in the age of 30s, that personal health is really, really important. Because if I think we don't have the personal health straight, then we are not able to juggle with so many challenges that we have. I personally also few years back almost had a kind of a sedentary lifestyle, and currently I do yoga, I do dance, keep myself busy and active, and now I feel energy is coming back into work, and I'm only able to channel that right energy into my work. It's making me more productive, more stronger. and looking at your lifestyle and also the different juggling that you need to do between your personal and professional life. What's your personal health look like, and what's that goal that you might have unlocked?
Yeah, so this question, if you would have asked me a couple of maybe 1.5 years back, I would have given a very different answer. But since the last couple of months, I've been, because I have a kid now, so health is definitely the priority. And trust me, you need a lot of energy to manage kids. So the last couple of years, I've also been trying to follow a diet and just get back into shape. When it comes to I feel like having a regular workout routine is very important for you, because that 1 hour of workout gives you a lot of happy hormones or good hormones, and that really revives your whole day. That really revives your mood and revives your whole day and helps you focus more on things. And again, showing up for that workout is basically being regular with it and having a routine into place, which will also help you with your career and your ambition. So I feel that that is a very important attribute to have. The other thing I would like to mention is that health is very important, and eating right is extremely important for your body. So that would be something that I've personally focused on: eating right, having the being very regular with my exercise, because the kind of energy and the kind of feeling it gives you after the workout makes your whole day change. So
Yes.
yeah.
So I think, speaking of routines, you touched upon a very important topic. You must be not only looking at your professional routine, but also your personal routine. And I'm sure you must be also having goals for your personal life as well, looking at your little one and also your the other support function that you have. So what are those goals, if we were to ask?
Yeah. So I have personal and professional goals. I'll start with the personal goal. So yeah, I have a little one. Making sure she's a good human is definitely goal number one for me. The other goal would be being in shape, being fit, being able to take care of her, eating the right food is something I would want to focus on. And the third one would be like building a space, as I mentioned, quietly ambitious for people like me who are a little restless. On professional end, I would continue to acquire more clients, and I would want to have more conversations with startups, founders, to understand how I can be of help to them. So that's something I'm looking at. I don't have a 5-year plan carved out for me, but yeah, this is what I want to do in the next couple of years.
Yes. So thanks, Geeta, for coming to this podcast and also sharing your views and thoughts with all the young listeners out there. I'm sure they are inspired and they're looking at you as a beacon when they're going to work tomorrow. So thanks a lot. And listeners out there, this is the Brand New You podcast. Would love to know, if you want to know and listen more, please put it in the comments which section, which topic that you would want to. Here, I think today we have literally understood and unlocked what is professional and personal goal means to us, how it is okay not to have 5-year or 10-year plan, but also be on the move to also understand and unlock ourselves. It's really important to have a downtime, and it's perfectly okay that if you can use that and use that energy into your personal life, because you can actually make your professional game much stronger if you get that energy back. But thanks a lot, and thanks to you, Geeta, for being here.
Thank you, Shruti. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, interacting with you, and thanks a lot for having me on this podcast. And I'm guessing your listeners would want to also understand what quietly ambitious means, so they can follow my page on YouTube and on Instagram, and also follow me on LinkedIn for further updates.
Great, thanks.